Hello, Zach and Andrew here, coming to you live. We've got a lot of things we're excited to talk to you about today. We want to talk about how being competitive, how your competitive nature is causing a lot of emotional clutter in your life, and also how it might be making you ironically lose by trying to be so competitive, and what to do instead. And we're really excited to talk to you about this. I think it's going to be really helpful for you. And Zach, hey Victor, it's good to see you.
Hey Victor.
And Zach has a story that he wants to go into real quick about this.
Yeah, so Andrew and I just got back from San Diego, and while we were there, while Andrew was on a conference call, I decided to take a yoga class. And this was actually the first yoga class I've taken without Andrew since we've been together. And it was really cool. We had a meditation that we were kind of focusing on. Hey Jeff.
Hey Russell.
Hey Russell and Victor. And the meditation that we were kind of asked to be thinking about while we were doing yoga was really releasing the mental and emotional clutter that's really wearing us down, weighing us down. And the first thing that came to my mind was my competitive nature, which really I find really is a disservice to me. I find that it doesn't serve me in many ways. It really ends up screwing me over in the long run. Take yoga, for example. Like I said, Andrew and I do yoga together pretty regularly. And I can remember the very first time we did yoga together. This is embarrassing to admit, so bear with me. So watching Andrew master these poses was really frustrating to me because here I am just losing my balance, falling over, really struggling to just stay with the program. And I remember thinking to myself, I just want to push him over, and literally thought about just shoving him because at one point I was so frustrated. Fortunately, I held back, but that's just one example of how I would let my competitive nature get the best of me. And, and at the same time, all the other times we've done yoga as well, I really do focus on Andrew and how much better he is. And I kind of try to model myself after him. And I end up feeling bad about myself a little bit and frustrated because I'm not as good. And I don't consider the fact that Andrew probably has 20, 30 times more experience with yoga than I do. But at the same time, I've done myself a disservice by spending so much mental energy and focus on him and his performance instead of, and frustrated all along with why I'm not getting any better. And I mean, it makes perfect sense because when all my energy and attention and focus is on his performance, I'm not really improving mine. And so I realized when I did this yoga class by myself just the other day, I was like, wow, I'm doing so much better than usual. And it hit me. I wasn't modeling myself after Andrew, who was, usually right next to me. And it made such an amazing difference. And I realized that, yeah, this competitiveness is nothing but emotional and mental clutter. And it's just been bringing me down.
Yeah, absolutely. And I want to say, hey Art, and Matt and Jeremy, it's good to see all of y'all on here right now. And so Zach was so focused on me, who I had been practicing this type of yoga way before I ever knew Zach. And ironically, I would look over at him and I would think, wow, look, Zach's doing amazing. He's way better than I was when I just started. Good for him. And meanwhile, his reality was the exact opposite.
Yep.
And so ultimately, when we're being really competitive, what we're doing is we're comparing ourselves to others, and it puts us in a they win and I lose mindset, or an I win and they lose mindset. It's not we can all win and we can all thrive. And that's really not a great mindset to be in. Obviously, if you're playing soccer with someone or tennis, that's different.
Yeah.
But that's not what life is.
Yeah, it's a conflict either way, really.
Yeah, it's a conflict either way. And ultimately, when we have that mindset, it puts a lot more pressure on us. And sometimes we might even have guilt around winning if we think someone else is going to feel bad about losing. And it just causes a whole lot of trouble. And so instead, the best thing to do is, instead of comparing ourselves to others, is to really just focus on ourselves. And if we're competing with anyone, to just compete with your own self.
Yeah.
Because really, if you think about it, when you compare yourself to others, you're not comparing yourself to people that might be a lot worse off than you are and saying, oh, yay, they're this bad off, so I can be so happy with where I am. Yay. And it's not to make light of our issues. I hear a lot of people say, oh, well, people in third world countries are starving, so we shouldn't be upset about where we are. But what happens is we just compare ourselves to people that are further along than us in one area. I know I was guilty of this myself as an entrepreneur. Just starting out, I would compare myself to other Facebook pages that had 100,000 likes and all this other stuff. And then I would just feel miserable that I'm not out there more. But when I was comparing myself to all these world-renowned doctors, I wasn't out there helping people as much as I could have been.
Yeah.
And so it's not a great place to be. And Jeff says this pervades all aspects of civilization. Yes, it absolutely does. And Cliff, I think you'll like the replay. I appreciate your comment. So ultimately, really just focusing on yourself instead of competing with others is the key. And do you have anything?
I think you said everything I was gonna cover. So that's pretty much it. It just really puts you in a place of feeling unworthy when you're comparing yourself to others. Because like Andrew said, we're usually comparing ourselves to those that we perceive are so much further ahead than us. Just like I did with yoga, I was comparing myself to who I perceived to be an expert. But by putting all my focus and attention on someone else, I wasn't growing and I wasn't improving. Hey, Michelle, thanks for joining us. And it's just really disserving yourself when you're really trying to compare yourself to all these other people instead of really just focusing on yourself and your own needs and your own growth. It's such a smarter idea. You have to compare yourself to your former self, to where you were maybe a week or two ago, and then you can monitor your progress and really celebrate your wins instead of always feeling like you're not as good as somebody else.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, we love you too, Michelle. And hey, Jeremy, it's good to see you here as well. So yes, comparing ourselves to others is one of the cruelest things we can do. And life is not a competition. Everybody can win. It's very possible. And the most important thing is to look within, looking at where can I grow? Where do I want to be? Where am I now? What can I do to get there? And that's the hardest part is really viewing ourselves, not critically to beat ourselves up, but viewing ourselves in a way of what can I do to work on myself so I can have a happier, more full life, so I can show up more fully, have better relationships, better health, everything else.
Exactly. Hey, Jeff. Jeff says, what's tough is the balance of being involved with others. Yeah, relationships can definitely come into play with this, that's for sure.
Yes, and so, and with relationships, especially competing with our partner, that's probably the worst type of competition, is to be competitive with your own partner, because being partners means being a team, and really Zach's wins are my wins are Zach's wins. If any time I lose and Zach views that as a win for himself, that's probably not the healthiest place to be in.
Probably not. Hey, Frank.
And sometimes that can happen in relationships, though. Couples can be competitive. Zach and I have had those moments ourselves. Yeah. And it's important to acknowledge that, but also to remember, what do we ultimately want? What's my goal by being in this relationship with Zach? And ultimately, we both want the same exact things. We both want love. We both want connection. We both want to succeed in our life and our business. Mm-hmm. And so really, there's no him winning and me losing. Yeah. It's just kind of either we're winning together or we're losing together. And that's kind of the cool thing about being involved with others. Hey, Frank, good to see you on here. Hey, Chris. I think that's, hey Jeff, good to see you. It's been a while. I hope you catch the replay. So is there anything else you have about this topic?
Just want to thank you all for watching. If you're catching the replay, please give us a thumbs up. Shoot us some comments down below. We love hearing your feedback and input. And really excited to be sharing our story with you guys. Thanks again for watching.
Yeah, thanks for watching, and we will talk to you soon.
Bye.